Mossab, Hassan Yousef, says, yeah, his father was a founding member of Hamas. He was by his side until he saw the group change for the worse and became an agent from Israel. He is known as the Green Prince, and he joins me now. Always a pleasure. Good to see you. Thank you for making the time. So you heard about this, and you were shocked that America would be doing something that you believe has deadly consequences, short and long term. Why?
First of all, negotiating with terrorists in principle is wrong, because it will have deadly consequences on the global security. Because once we legitimize terrorism, what's going to be next? How other terrorists will perceive this move, and are they going to try to take human shields? Are they going to try to bully and blackmail democracies worldwide? When the United States president begged terrorists to sit on the negotiating table and accept the deal, then pressuring his ally to literally surrender it doesn't get worse than this.
So the other side of the argument is, yeah, but they have our people, and Israel has been killing too many Gazans for too long with too little return, and that has to end anyway. What do you make of those arguments?
Well, first of all, let's correct this narrative, because Israel is not killing civilians in Gaza. Since the beginning of war, it has been Hamas' strategy to sacrifice civilians in order to bring the United States, Israel, and the rest of the world to its knees, begging Hamas to accept a deal. This has been their strategy. And now...
You think Hamas intentionally wants innocent Gazans to die to make everybody upset and come to them for a deal?
This is the only weapon in Hamas' hands, using their own people as human shields, sacrificing as much as they can, maximizing the civilian casualty, because they know that this will not be accepted globally, and it will create the global chaos we are experiencing right now. So the pro-Palestine movement and the anti-Israel movement, the President of the United States and many other leaders of the free world walked right into Hamas' trap. This is the only weapon in Hamas' hands, to kill civilians in order to pressure democracies, and we're telling them that your strategy is working.
How does Hamas keep support among the Gazan people when they must know what you know, which is that Hamas is sacrificing them for their cause?
Okay, this could be misunderstood, but a huge part of the Gaza civilians are complicit in Hamas crime. They voted for Hamas. The vast majority of Gazans, they are on the they believe in the same culture, in the same belief system. They participated in the rape that happened on October 7. They hid hostages. They are not helping Israel find the hostage locations. So to a certain degree, Gazans are paying the price of being complicit in Hamas crime.
Even women, even children?
Okay, I cannot include children in this situation, but also I cannot blame Israel as the actual killer of the children. Because when Hamas hide behind the children and women, they should not have immunity. And Israel has to finish the job by removing Hamas from power and bringing the hostages back, because we cannot afford another Gaza war. So the fact that Hamas killed Jewish children in the morning and in the evening hid behind their own children does not make them immune.
Now, let's discuss what we discuss in private that you always push back on me about, and let the audience decide. One is, Israel has made two mistakes. Obviously, every time innocents are killed, that's something that you wish had been avoided. But tactically, they're not allowing enough aid in. And even the United States got that right when we were fighting in the region in Iraq and Afghanistan. There was lots of aid coming in so that anyone who wasn't an active fighter would get a message that America didn't want to kill everybody. Israel hasn't let enough aid in. Second, They haven't allowed media on the ground in the war zone so that the story can be told by people who don't have a stake in the action. I think both are big mistakes. You say it's too dangerous and aid is not as simple as I make it. Why?
My personal opinion is to deplete Hamas to the worst possible way, not to give them aid, because the aid is going, first of all, to Hamas. If you ask me about the best strategy, was to evacuate children and women, and this is what I said from day one from this war. Get them out of the danger, because Hamas want to use them as human shields. Then it would be much easier mission. But Egypt, Qatar, and the United States government conspired against the civilians of Gaza by actually keeping them caged under Hamas mercy. Then they wanted to give, by the name of giving humanitarian aid to the civilians, they end up lengthening Hamas lifespan. All the aid is going to Hamas, and this is making them stronger. So if they really wanted to help the civilians, they would have simply opened the border and let them go to safety in Egypt.
What is your best sense of what ends this conflict, and what is the best way to get the hostages released?
Okay. First of all, the brave operation, high-risk operation that took place a few days ago was a very significant one, and it showed that it's possible to rescue at least some of the hostages. Because what Hamas want from Israel is to surrender. They hit Israel so badly on October 7, and they took the hostages in order to force Israel to surrender on October 8th. This is why they took the hostages. And in my opinion, Israel should never surrender, because it's about the future of Israel. It's about the existence of Israel. And the hostage situation is very important to the Israeli government, but I think the existence, the very existence of the state of Israel is more important. And if Hamas want from Israel to surrender, I think it would be a mistake to trade the security of a nation because of the hostage situation, even though it's very hard to say that. So pressuring Hamas, the United States could have pressured Qatar to expel Hamas leaders instead of pressuring Israel to surrender.
Because we believe the leaders are in Qatar. That's why you're saying that.
Yes. Instead of pressuring Israel to surrender to the demands of Hamas. There would have been a much better strategy. And now Hamas toughened their position. And the United States policy brought Hamas expectations much higher. And I think now Israel is having to deal with the consequences of the U.S. Policy. Now to negotiate with Hamas directly behind Israel back is another stab in the back. It's very dangerous policy what's happening right now. We could have pressured Hamas a lot more through Qatar and militarily by closing the border with Rafah, which the United States also pressured Israel to delay months. We could have done this job 3 or 4 months ago if it wasn't for the Biden administration pressure against Israel and allowing Hamas to play everybody.
Always a pleasure to get your perspective. Thank you for giving us the benefit of your perspective and the history and potentially the future. Always appreciated.